Information Station 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Beautiful Monday morning. And gosh, we've got such a beautiful story to tell you with such a sad element to it, though. Dr. Buck Blodgett is on the phone, and I apologize, Doctor, if I'm mispronouncing your name. He is the founder and director of the Love is Greater Than Hate project. He is the father of Jessie. Jessie was 19 years old when she was brutally murdered in their home. He's also the founder of the Chiropractic and Wellness Group, the Wellness Doctors, and an inspirational speaker. And his book is going to move you. It's called A Message from Jessie, the incredible true story of murder and miracles in the heartland. Good morning, Dr. Buck Blodgett. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Larry. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me and Jessie's story on.
How did I do on your last name?
You did perfect.
Okay. Were you in Indiana? Were you?
No, in Wisconsin, just northwest Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. Oh, Robin is from Cudahy. Do you know Cudahy?
Sure do.
Okay, yeah, that's where Robin is from. So how long ago was Jessie murdered?
It was 3.5 years ago, July 15th, 2013, on a Monday morning.
My gosh, I'm so sorry. That must have been the worst ever.
Yeah, it's beyond describing in words. It was not only a shock, but pretty life-changing.
This is your home.
It was in our home. Yep, a friend came in on a Monday morning when my wife Joy and I were at work, and surprised Jess while she was sleeping in, and he attacked her and hog-tied Jess and stuffed a gag ball in her mouth and taped it around her head and face, and he raped her, and then he put a rope around her neck and squeezed the life out of her.
How is it possible that you call this person a friend?
Well, he was a friend of Jessie's.
Wow.
We thought, anyway. They sat together first and second chair in orchestra for 6 years. They hung out. They dated for about 3 months, 4 years earlier, freshman year of high school. And they stayed in the same circle of friends in the theater arts and music for 4 years after that.
Where were you when the murder happened?
I was at work here where I am right now.
Oh, my God. Where was your wife?
She was also at work. She's a chiropractor, too. She has a practice in Hartford, so she was about 5 minutes away.
So he came to the house. How did you find out about the murder?
I found out on the phone, like I'm with you right now. The phone rang. Actually, our receptionist, Holly, knocked on my door and kind of burst through it before I answered and said, "Dr. Buck, you got to pick up right now. Joy's on the line." And Joy had just turned Jessie over to the EMTs for CPR and picked up the phone and called me.
Joy is your wife?
Joy's my wife, yes.
So she found Jess?
She came home for lunch and had been home about 2 minutes and thought Jess was sleeping in after a late-night cast party. Jess was Fiddler in Hartford Players' production of Fiddler on the Roof. 3 nights in a row they had a late-night cast party, and Joy came home, and there was a knock on the door, and it was one of Jessie's young students. Jess taught piano, violin, and voice at our home to about 26 young people a week, and Jess didn't answer, so Joy ran upstairs and found her in her bed.
Oh, my God.
How, I mean, it's got to be very difficult and very brave for you to be promoting the book, talking to us, knowing that the next radio guy is going to ask you the same questions, and you have to go through it all over again. When you wrote the book, was it difficult because you had to go through it all over again?
In a way, but I don't know how to explain it, Larry. But it's really all I want to do is share Jessie's story. I thought I had a purpose in life, being a chiropractor and wanting to heal people and help people. Never have I felt fueled by a purpose like I do now. I just want to share Jessie's story everywhere, and not just to stay connected with her. And it's not about not letting her go. I've completely let her go, and yet I feel like she's with me all the time too. So there's no need to let her go now for me.
Yeah.
But it's more what I feel like she came to do, and the mission of our project to end violence against women and have people choose love over hate.
And you use the analogy in there about butterflies.
Yes, not an analogy for me, real life events. And I had a series of, I don't know how to talk about them, odd butterfly occurrences starting the morning after Jess was raped and murdered at the bottom of our driveway. And not only I had them, but one of Jessie's good friends had them, and one of my coworkers and a local newscaster who came to interview me, and there was a series of about a dozen things, and then they escalated into other happenings in our home and elsewhere that I can only call signs. And this atheist, as I was 3.5 years ago, started to feel like there's something going on here that more than meets the eye, and that was the beginning of a spiritual journey for me that changed my worldview.
I would love to have you elaborate on some of those things if you could. What exactly, two in one if you don't mind, what exactly can you tell some of the butterfly stories for us to hear? And why do you think the butterflies are somehow associated with Jess?
Well, I have to preface it by saying that to tell the stories right, to include all the details so that somebody has the understanding that I had, takes about 10 minutes for each one, and we probably don't have time for that today. But
right.
The first one happened the morning after, when the house was just impossibly, painfully quiet and silent, and I had to get outside. And Joy went down the driveway with me, and a neighbor came running, and she'd seen the squad cars and ambulances in our driveway the whole day before, and so we were explaining to her what happened and crying together and hugging and sharing memories. And
oh my God.
Yeah, and a butterfly flew out of a bush in her yard right in front of my field of vision, right behind Joy and Peggy, about 10 feet, in the slowest, straightest line you ever saw. And it was and it flew all the way across my field of vision, and I was about to lose track of it, and I just noticed myself, though. I noticed myself noticing it. It just grabbed my attention, and it was about to disappear, and then it stopped and held its position in space, and then turned around and came back. And it flew back and forth, this exact slow, straight line, the same path in front of me for like 5 minutes. And so I told myself, you're suffering a fresh life trauma like you've never had before. Don't make anything mean anything. Okay. And I don't ever want to be someone who believes in things because I need to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So the one part you haven't said yet that I know from the book is that Jess had written a song called Butterflies?
Yes. That night in the hotel, 3 a.m, I found myself talking to a God I didn't believe in, and asked him to show himself if he was really real. And I flashed back in time to the 8th grade talent show where Jessie performed the first song she ever wrote, which was my proudest moment as her dad, her coming out party as a talented musician, and the name of that first song she ever wrote was Butterflies.
Wow.
So that was the beginning.
Wow. And
it got crazier from there. I know any one of these stories taken alone could easily be a coincidence or something I'm making up, but when you put them all together, no, I don't think so.
Right.
Well, you really had to open your heart after this happened. How were you able to manage that and not and get rid of your hate?
I don't know. It feels like a gift to me. I sat on the couch with Joy that day between detective interviews, and at one point she said to me, we have to stick together because marriages break up over this. And we found since then that 79% of marriages end sometime after the loss of a child. So we knew she was right, and then I turned to her a little later and said, honey, we have to stay open because we can't get bitter and angry, or this will kill us. And we both kind of did both of those things from that point on.
Did you have to forgive her killer?
Didn't have to. We found out 3 days later at the police station that it was Dan and that he had been arrested. And I still don't know how to describe this to people either after 3.5 years of trying, but we never had, not never, but we rarely wrestled with anger or vengeance or hatred towards him. We felt bad for him from the beginning. We thought, oh my God, what happened to Dan? How could, for somebody to be capable of such a thing, it was just...
There's no way to even understand it for me. I just don't understand it at all. Every question I have about him, I don't want to ask any one of them because it doesn't matter what the answers are. I mean, the questions that are going through my mind, and I'm not asking you to answer them, but the questions that are going through my mind is, was he in love with her? Did they have a relationship? Was he like a bullied kid, or was he just a bully himself? It doesn't matter. I mean, somebody who does something so horrendous doesn't deserve to have answers about him.
Yeah, first of all, there's no questions off limits. So wide open here, open heart, open mind, open will, and open eyes is my credo for life now. So ask away. Secondly, I think it does matter. I think we have to, if we're going to get anywhere with this issue, which is everywhere, it's so pervasive that we don't even know. We think, various studies say it's 1 out of 5, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3 of our girls and women are sexually assaulted, and the similar number are physically assaulted, and many, it's both.
Yeah.
It's anybody listening today, Larry, who doesn't know somebody who's been physically or sexually assaulted. They may not know they know them because usually victims never say anything about it. It's too humiliating and shameful for them, which is wrong because it's not their fault. But anyway, I believe it's really important that we do ask those questions and understand, come to an understanding we don't have yet about what is in us, men, that we can do this.
And that caused you on your journey to found the Love is Greater Than Hate project?
Yes, it did. At Jessie's funeral, I said, love is stronger than hate. And I don't know why I said that, but I was amazed at the community's response. And about a month later, 500 people lit candles, walked around the mill pond in Hartford in a vigil for a couple hours. And there was a big banner on the pavilion and signs for 2 miles and blue wristbands that all said, love is greater than hate. And then it exploded on Facebook and YouTube and all the news channels in Milwaukee that night. And I went to bed that night thinking, what just happened here? And I knew I could sense there was something going on, and I felt like I was supposed to do something about it, and that was the birth of her project.
And you used the greater than sign.
Yes. I didn't make that up. Somebody else did, and it caught my eye and everybody's apparently. And so it's love all in capital letters, greater than symbol, and hate all in small letters. Love is greater than hate.
Last week or so, I had a guest, and the guest was talking about how he almost died when a semi fell on him that he was working on as a mechanic. And he tells the story of leaving his body and seeing angels around him. And he's absolutely convinced. He convinced me that he really saw angels. Did you? On the back of the book, it says you envisioned an angel. Was that just you imagining it, or did you actually have a vision?
No, I didn't have an actual vision. That was me imagining it.
Just imagining.
But yeah, I haven't had those kind of experiences, and I didn't believe those kind of experiences 3.5 years ago until the things that happened to me did. The sounds that came out of Jessie's light fixture. We've lived in the house for 18 years, never heard anything like that. Joy and I are laying in the bed together, and I say, haven't had a sign for a while, honey. Wish I had another one. And she goes into a memory about a dream she had where she told Jess to go to the light. And the moment she finishes talking about telling Jess to go to the light, this sound comes out of the light fixture right above us in the ceiling above Jessie's bed. It was kind of like half electrical and almost half voice-like, and would have freaked me out at any other time in life, but that was just another of about 24
Wow.
odd things that happened that made me realize that Jess's body is gone, but I don't believe her.
Wow. An audible sound, something you both heard.
Loud, plain as day. I would try to do it right now on the phone, but I can't really replicate it. But it was loud and long, about 5 seconds long, kind of like an electrical horn going off almost.
Where was she heading in life? What was she heading to become?
Oh boy, she made a Facebook post 2 days before she was killed that said, "Life just keeps getting better." She was a near straight-A student in the Honors College at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. She had just changed her major against a lifetime of advice from dear old Dad here. She figured out who she was supposed to be and what her calling was, and she changed to music ed, and she got a prestigious talent scholarship and a job offer at school mentoring inner-city disadvantaged students at UWM. She got a choir director position offer at age 19 from a local church in Hartford. Never had a chance to accept any of those offers. But she did have a chance to start her own business, B Sharp, she called it, and she had 26 young people coming to our house every week for lessons. She would have mentored 100 kids a year for 40 years and made a big impact in a lot of lives.
Wow. So people who are musical, typically, at least in this day and age, they record music. Do you have recordings of her and her music?
We do. 99% of her music is lost forever, but some of her friends and her, in 7th grade, she made a CD because I told her to, because I've learned that she wrote her first 3 songs, and so we have those, and some of her friends posted on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
Some other recordings that she did. So we've made a CD of 8 songs that we have that Jess performed.
Since you had turned to spirituality, did you and your wife join a church, or is this just something that you feel?
I did. I don't look at it like joining a church. I look at it like going to my new extended family on Sundays and worshiping together and supporting my pastor, who is the first guy I ever called my pastor, who is one of the loudest voices for Jessie's Legacy Project. My wife, who was more spiritual than I before this happened, has kind of gone the opposite direction. And it's not really that she doesn't believe in God anymore. She does as much as ever. I think she's just kind of mad right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's hard to not blame her. There are so many emotions you could imagine thinking here. This probably might lead back to Dan, but did Jess have a primary boyfriend?
Nope, she didn't. She had 3 boyfriends in life, all in high school. Dan was her first, freshman year of high school, for about 3 months. And with each one, she made it a point to... and by the way, to get back to your earlier wonderings, Dan broke up with Jessie. And so this wasn't breakup violence. Mm-hmm. As far as anybody knows, there's no indications that he loved her and wanted to get back together. In fact, if you see all the evidence in the case, really what it looks like is he just wanted to kill someone. He attacked a woman in the park 3 days prior to Jessie. He had been searching, his computer showed a long history for months of searching serial killers.
Oh my God. Where's he now?
He's in jail. He's sentenced to life without parole.
Did his family approach you and say did they say they were sorry or make any contact with you and your wife at all?
You know, we saw them at each hearing and then every day in the trial, and we kind of had gradually increasing contact. Nobody knew what to do the first few hearings, but at some point we crossed the aisle and hugged and shook hands and didn't say much, or, what do you say? Mm-hmm. But eventually we started to talk a little bit in the hallways, and I told Skip, and I shouldn't say names, I told both of Dan's parents at sentencing that everybody's judging Dan right now and thinking he's a monster, and that's not true, and I don't judge him, and I don't believe God is either. And, that's just one guy's opinion. That's just my opinion, but I wanted them to know then, and I want them to know now that whenever they're ready,
You're a good
if
man.
ever, the door is always open.
You're a good man. You're meant to be in good graces with God, and good for you for we had a thing we said just the other day. We said God has a way, but so does the devil. And I was thinking as I was listening to you talk that the love is greater than hate message is exactly what you need when you realize that God has a way, and so does the devil. But love is greater than hate. So no matter what it is, love will eventually win. And we don't know. It's a mystery what happens on the other side. I'm horrible with quoting the Bible, and forgive me for slaughtering at everybody who's very good at this, but one of the commandments says, "Thou shalt not commit false witness." Right? You shouldn't lie. And so, if I told you that I knew anything about God, I'd be lying. I don't know anything except what I believe, and that's all. It's what I believe. I don't know anything.
It is a mystery. It's the great mystery of our existence, isn't it? And love is greater than hate is deliberately a non-religious, a non-political organization and our mission, because you don't have to look long around the world today, Larry, to see hate and violence and people who hold their own beliefs and opinions so dearly that they're willing to kill others, or to a lesser degree insult and criticize and harm others, harm people emotionally. And so the project, the second mission of the project, having people choose love over hate, is just the recognition. When this happened to Jess, everything got really simple and black and white. It was on between good and evil in this world. I've always been one to see everybody's point of view, but I still do, and I think that's critical. I think that's what it does, is you see the other person's point of view and you have empathy and understand. And yet, to me, it became a spiritual war, and I had to pick a side. So that's what I do every day now.
Yeah, and this isn't meant to be political either, but you just said something. You're a doctor, and so many doctors, in fact, so many chiropractors in our community anyway, happen to be Muslim. And in recent years, when because of ISIS and groups like that, Muslim has become a bad word and a discriminated against portion of our community, which is absolutely unfair. I mean, we have actor friends who happen to be Muslim. They would never do it in a million years. I do anything harm, in a million years. And I guess the message that you deliver, love is greater than hate, really supersedes everything. That, to me, is the big message. I know we're running out of time. Can I ask you, has the book been out long enough so that you get feedback from people who are relating to it and sent you letters? Maybe they had something similar?
Yeah, we've got, first of all, I'm not an author, and I'm not a promoting person, so we're just getting started with the book, and we probably have a lot of work to do in terms of promoting it. And I don't want to say this the wrong way, I don't really care. I'm not here to sell books, but right. I am here to spread a message and impact life and do whatever I can with the life I have in this world to make it a better place. So anyways, A Message from Jessie is available on Amazon.com and on Kindle and in your local bookstore. Anybody can order it. And it's really our best media for sharing what I consider to be Jessie's purpose in coming here to I don't want to sound too crazy now, but I feel like if we were all in line in heaven waiting to be placed in the life, and the angel was reviewing our choices, and they said, this one will be short and end badly, but you'll make a bigger impact than most, then I feel like Jess would have been at the front of that line. And I kind of think that there's more going on here than we all understand, and maybe she did have a mission in coming here. So,
well, it looks the quotes at the beginning of each chapter are attributed to Jessie, and it looks like they are from songs. So the quote that I'm looking at, take a chance, make a change, and start to live. Well, that's an awesome message right there. Is that from a song?
She wrote that in 7th grade. That was the second song she ever wrote.
Oh, my gosh. I have a copy of the book. It's A Message from Jessie. Call me if you want the copy that was sent to us. And Dr. Blodgett, thank you for being on the air with us this morning. And Thank you for what you're doing. I normally tell authors good luck with the book. That doesn't apply in this case. Thank you for what you're doing. That's the more important message. Thank you, Dr.
Well, thank you for having me and Jessie on your show.
Oh, thank you. We will be right back.
But officials are learning more about him.
Police suspect that he might be part of the same ISIS cell which attacked Istanbul airport back in June. That attack left 41 killed. As a result, Turkish officials believe the attacker might be from the Central Asian countries of Uzbekistan or Kyrgyzstan.
Fox's Benjamin Hall. Turkish media says police are holding 8 others in connection with the attack. Police in South Carolina say it looks like a murder-suicide. A man, a woman, and 2 children found dead of gunshot wounds. They're still investigating.
Just follow up on any other leads and determine a timeline and other things that will help us piece together what happened.
Lexington County Sheriff's Captain Adam Myrick. In Miami, someone in a car pulled up to a group of people outside a house last night and opened fire. 7 people hurt, 1 critically. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Yes, while Geico could help you rack up more moolah faster than you can say metamorphosis, they've also been the fastest growing auto insurer for more than 10 years. That's more like it. Furthermore, Geico has fast and friendly claim service. That might seem like an oxymoron, but it's not. All the more reason to say no other auto insurer has more than Geico. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Pay fast with the Master Pass. Don't buy it, Master Pass it. Pay fast with the Master Pass. Simple and easy. Pay fast with the Master Pass. Don't buy it, Master Pass it. Pay fast with the Master Pass. Secure and so easy.